Hello, dear. Welcome to Solace for Sleep. If you could build a time machine and travel back 80 million years to the age of dinosaurs, you would find an ocean very different from today. Massive marine reptiles ruled the seas. Ammonites spiraled through the water. Ancient fish that no longer exist swam through prehistoric currents. But if you descended deep enough into those ancient oceans, you would find something familiar. Something that still exists today completely unchanged. You would find the frilled shark. This creature is a living fossil. A survivor from an era so distant that the continents were arranged differently on the planet. The frilled shark swimming in our oceans right now looks nearly identical to its ancestors that lived alongside the last dinosaurs. While the world above changed dramatically, while species evolved and went extinct by the millions, while entire ecosystems rose and fell, the frilled shark remained the same. It found a design that worked and never needed to change it. In 2007, a fisherman in Japan pulled his net up from deep water and discovered something inside that should not have been there. A long, dark, eel-like creature with a mouth full of needle teeth arranged in rows. The creature was still alive when it reached the surface. Barely. The fishermen had never seen anything like it. They contacted marine biologists who arrived and immediately recognized what they were looking at. A frilled shark. Alive. One of the rarest sights in marine biology. The shark was transported to a nearby aquarium where researchers hoped to study it. But the creature survived only a few hours. The trauma of being brought up from the deep ocean was too much. It died before scientists could learn much about its behavior. But those few hours of footage and the handful of photographs taken became some of the most valuable documentation of this species ever recorded. Because encounters with living frilled sharks are extraordinarily rare. Tonight you are going to learn about a creature that has mastered the art of staying the same in a world that never stops changing. A shark that hunts the way its ancestors hunted millions of years before humans existed. So let your body settle now. Let your mind become quiet. Let me take you on a journey not through space but through time. Back to an age when the ocean belonged to creatures that would seem like monsters to us today. Imagine yourself standing on a beach at night. But this is not a modern beach. This is a beach from the late Cretaceous period. 80 million years ago. The sand beneath your feet is warm. The stars above are arranged in unfamiliar patterns because the Earth's rotation has shifted slightly over millions of years. In the distance you hear sounds that do not exist in your time. The calls of creatures long extinct. You walk into the water. It is warm and shallow here, but you know that not far offshore the continental shelf drops away into an abyss. And in that abyss something is hunting. Something with 6 rows of teeth. Something that moves like an eel but strikes like a viper. Something that will outlive the dinosaurs and every creature you see on this ancient shore. The frilled shark. And its story is about to begin. Fact 1. The frilled shark belongs to one of the most primitive families of sharks still in existence. Its scientific name is Chlamydocoelicus anguineus. The genus name comes from the Greek words for cloak and shark, referring to the frilled appearance of its gills. This shark is so ancient that it represents a lineage that branched off from other sharks before most modern shark families even existed. Fact 2. Fossil evidence suggests that sharks very similar to the modern frilled shark existed at least 80 million years ago. Some paleontologists believe the lineage may be even older. While other shark species evolved and diversified into the hundreds of forms we see today, the frilled shark remained virtually unchanged. It occupied a niche in the deep ocean that required no adaptation, no improvement, no evolution. It was already perfect for its environment. Fact 3. The frilled shark lives at depths between 600 and 1500 meters. This is the twilight zone and the midnight zone of the ocean. Down here the pressure is immense. The temperature hovers just above freezing. And light is almost completely absent. The shark moves through this darkness hunting prey that most surface-dwelling creatures will never encounter. It is a ghost from the past living in the shadows of the present. Fact 4. The body of the frilled shark is long and serpentine. Adults can reach lengths of 2 meters. That is roughly 6.5 feet. But unlike the streamlined bodies of most modern sharks, the frilled shark is eel-like. Flexible. Its body undulates as it swims, creating a wave motion that propels it through the water. This swimming style is inefficient compared to modern sharks, but it works perfectly for slow, methodical hunting in the deep ocean. Fact 5. The most striking feature of the frilled shark is its mouth. When the shark opens its jaws, you see rows upon rows of tiny needle-like teeth. 25 rows in the upper jaw. 25 rows in the lower jaw. Each tooth has 3 sharp points, giving them a trident-like appearance. These teeth are designed for one purpose: to grip soft-bodied prey and prevent it from escaping. Once something enters that mouth, it is not coming out. Fact 6. The teeth of the frilled shark point backward toward the throat. This inward curve ensures that struggling prey is pushed deeper into the mouth rather than working its way free. The design is similar to the teeth found in some prehistoric fish that went extinct millions of years ago. The frilled shark carries this ancient dental pattern into the modern era. A reminder of how predators hunted in the age of reptiles. Fact 7. The gills of the frilled shark are unlike those of any other living shark species. Most sharks have 5 gill slits. Some have 6 or 7. The frilled shark has 6 gill slits, but they are unusually large and extend far forward on the throat. The first gill slit on each side wraps almost completely around the throat, giving the appearance of a frilled collar. This is where the shark gets its common name. Fact 8. These enlarged gill slits may serve a respiratory function in the low-oxygen environment of the deep ocean. Or they may be a remnant feature from ancient ancestors. Scientists are not entirely certain. What is clear is that this gill structure has been maintained unchanged for millions of years. If it were disadvantageous, evolution would have eliminated it. The fact that it remains suggests it provides some benefit we may not fully understand. Fact 9. The eyes of the frilled shark are large and oval-shaped. They have no nictitating membrane, which is the protective third eyelid that most modern sharks possess. This is another primitive feature. The frilled shark's eyes are adapted to see in extremely low light conditions. They can detect the faint bioluminescent glow produced by deep-sea creatures. In the pitch-black water, these eyes give the shark just enough vision to hunt effectively. Fact 10. The frilled shark is an ambush predator. It does not chase prey over long distances like a modern shark. Instead, it waits. It hovers in the water with its body coiled. Motionless. Patient. When prey comes close enough, the shark strikes with explosive speed. Its flexible body allows it to lunge forward and snap its jaws shut before the prey can react. The attack is over in less than a second, and the prey is already being swallowed whole. Fact 11. The diet of the frilled shark consists primarily of squid and other soft-bodied cephalopods. These creatures are abundant in the deep ocean, and their soft flesh is easy to swallow whole. The shark also consumes small fish and occasionally other sharks. Stomach content analysis from captured specimens has revealed partially digested squid beaks and fish bones. Everything the frilled shark eats is swallowed in one piece. It does not tear or chew. It simply engulfs. Fact 12. The hunting strategy of the frilled shark relies on surprise rather than speed. The shark positions itself in areas where prey is likely to pass, near underwater features, along current pathways, in zones where squid migrate vertically during their nightly feeding runs. Then it waits. Hours pass. Perhaps days. The shark does not move, does not waste energy. It simply exists in a state of readiness until opportunity presents itself. Fact 13. When a squid or fish approaches, the frilled shark executes what scientists call a strike and grip attack. The shark's flexible body allows it to bend into a C shape. Then it suddenly straightens, launching itself forward while simultaneously opening its massive jaws. The prey is caught completely off guard. The backward-pointing teeth sink in. And before the prey understands what has happened, it is being forced down the shark's throat by rhythmic contractions of the jaw muscles. Fact 14. The liver of the frilled shark is enormous and filled with oil. This liver can account for up to 25% of the shark's total body weight. The oil is less dense than water, which helps the shark maintain neutral buoyancy without the need for constant swimming. Most modern sharks must keep moving to avoid sinking, but the frilled shark can hover effortlessly. This is another ancient adaptation, one that served primitive sharks millions of years ago and still serves the frilled shark today. Fact 15. Reproduction in the frilled shark is one of the slowest processes in the animal kingdom. Females carry their young for an estimated 3.5 years. That is the longest known gestation period of any vertebrate on Earth. Longer than elephants. Longer than whales. The embryos develop incredibly slowly inside the mother's body, feeding on yolk sacs. When they are finally born, they are fully formed miniature versions of adults ready to survive independently. Fact 16. A female frilled shark typically gives birth to between 2 and 15 pups at a time. The pups are born live, not hatched from eggs. This is called ovoviviparity. The eggs develop and hatch inside the mother's body, and the young are born as free-swimming sharks. At birth, they are already around 50 centimeters long, roughly 20 inches. They are capable hunters from their first moments of life. They receive no parental care. They are on their own immediately. Fact 17. The slow reproduction rate means that frilled shark populations are extremely vulnerable to any disruption. If too many individuals are caught accidentally in deep-sea fishing nets, the population cannot recover quickly. It takes years for a female to reach sexual maturity. Then years more for her to produce offspring. And those offspring themselves need years to mature. The frilled shark exists on a timescale that is out of sync with the modern world. Fact 18. Scientists believe the frilled shark is a solitary creature. It does not form schools or hunting groups. Each individual occupies its own territory in the vast darkness of the deep ocean. Encounters between frilled sharks are probably rare. They may come together only briefly during mating season. The rest of the time they exist alone. Silent. Patient. Waiting in the cold black water for prey to wander within striking distance. Fact 19. The skin of the frilled shark is covered in tiny tooth-like scales called dermal denticles. Under a microscope, these scales look like miniature teeth, complete with enamel and a pulp cavity. They give the shark's skin a rough sandpaper texture. In ancient sharks, these scales were more prominent. Over millions of years, in most modern shark species, the scales became smaller and more streamlined. But in the frilled shark, they remain relatively large and primitive. Another echo of the distant past. Fact 20. The color of the frilled shark is dark brown or grayish. In the depths where it lives, color is meaningless. There is no light to reflect off skin. But the dark coloration may provide camouflage in the rare instances when bioluminescent light illuminates the shark. Against the blackness of deep water, the dark body would be difficult to distinguish. The shark becomes one with the darkness, invisible until it moves. Fact 21. Very few living frilled sharks have ever been observed by humans. Most of what we know comes from dead specimens caught accidentally by deep-sea fishing operations. Occasionally a shark is brought to the surface still alive, but they never survive long outside their natural habitat. The pressure change is catastrophic. Their bodies are designed for the crushing weight of deep water. At the surface they are like astronauts without space suits. Out of their element and doomed. Fact 22. In 2007, when that frilled shark was caught in Japan and briefly kept alive in an aquarium, the footage captured was invaluable. It showed how the shark moved, how it opened its mouth, how it responded to its surroundings. The shark was clearly distressed. It swam erratically. Its movements were uncoordinated. But even in its dying hours, it provided scientists with information they had never been able to obtain before. Every second of that footage has been analyzed in detail. Fact 23. The frilled shark has no commercial value. Its flesh is not desirable for human consumption. It contains high levels of oils and compounds that make it unpalatable. This has probably saved the species from targeted fishing pressure. But it does not protect them from being caught as bycatch. Deep-sea trawling operations drag nets along the ocean floor at depths where frilled sharks live. When these nets are pulled up, they sometimes contain sharks that were never meant to be caught. Fact 24. There is something profoundly humbling about knowing that the frilled shark has existed essentially unchanged for 80 million years. During that span, modern humans evolved from small tree-dwelling primates. Civilizations rose and fell. Ice ages came and went. And through all of that change, the frilled shark remained exactly what it was. Swimming in the same depths. Hunting the same prey. Following the same ancient patterns that have always worked. You are back on that prehistoric beach now. The night is quiet except for the gentle sound of waves. You look out at the dark water and you realize something profound. That ocean contains the same predator that exists in your time. The frilled shark did not need to evolve because it had already found perfection in its niche. Evolution is not about progress. It is about fit. And sometimes a creature fits its environment so completely that change becomes unnecessary. The frilled shark is proof that success does not require complexity or advancement. Sometimes success is simply about finding your place and never leaving it. Your breathing has become slow and rhythmic like the gentle waves on that ancient shore. Your body feels heavy and relaxed. The story of the frilled shark has carried you far from your everyday concerns. You have traveled through time. You have seen a creature that connects the present to the distant past. And in that connection you have found something calming. Something that puts your own existence into perspective. Fact 25. The spine of the frilled shark is made entirely of cartilage, not bone. This is a characteristic all sharks share. Cartilage is lighter and more flexible than bone, which provides advantages for movement and buoyancy. But in the frilled shark, the cartilaginous skeleton is especially flexible. The shark can bend its body into tight curves that would be impossible for a bony fish. This flexibility is essential for its ambush hunting style. Fact 26. The brain of the frilled shark is relatively small and simple compared to modern sharks. It lacks some of the advanced sensory processing centers that more recently evolved sharks possess. But this simplicity is not a weakness. The frilled shark does not need complex decision-making abilities. It operates on instinct refined over millions of years. Its behavioral patterns are hardwired, proven, reliable. What it lacks in sophistication it compensates for with absolute consistency. Fact 27. Like all sharks, the frilled shark can detect electrical fields generated by living creatures. This ability is called electroreception. Special organs called ampullae of Lorenzini are scattered across the shark's head. These organs detect the tiny electrical impulses produced by muscle contractions and nerve activity. Even in complete darkness, the frilled shark can sense prey nearby. It reads the electrical signature of life itself. Fact 28. The range of the frilled shark is global. They have been found in the Atlantic Ocean off the coasts of Norway and Scotland, in the Pacific near Japan, California, and New Zealand, off the coast of southern Africa. Anywhere there are deep underwater slopes and canyons, the frilled shark may be present. But their population density is unknown. They could be common or they could be rare. The deep ocean keeps its secrets well. Fact 29. Scientists have tried to estimate the total population of frilled sharks worldwide, but the task is nearly impossible. The sharks live at depths that are difficult and expensive to survey. They occupy a three-dimensional habitat spread across vast areas of ocean. And they are not drawn to bait or attracted to specific features that would make counting easier. We share the planet with these ancient predators, but we have no idea how many exist. Fact 30. The metabolism of the frilled shark is extremely slow. Like most deep-sea creatures, it operates at a fraction of the energy expenditure of shallow water animals. This slow metabolism allows the shark to survive long periods between meals. It may go weeks or even months without eating. When food is scarce, the shark simply reduces its activity level even further and waits. Patience is not a virtue for the frilled shark. It is a survival requirement. Fact 31. There are very few known predators of adult frilled sharks. Their size, their deep habitat, and their formidable teeth make them unappealing targets for most other creatures. However, juvenile frilled sharks are vulnerable. Larger deep-sea fish may prey on them. Other shark species that venture into deep water might consume them. But once a frilled shark reaches maturity, it has few natural enemies. Its greatest threat comes not from nature but from human activity. Fact 32. The impact of deep-sea fishing on frilled shark populations is difficult to assess. Because we do not know baseline population numbers, we cannot measure decline. Fishing vessels report occasional catches of these sharks as bycatch, but reporting is inconsistent. Many nations do not require fishermen to document every species caught. So frilled sharks may be dying in nets by the dozens or by the hundreds, and we would never know. They could be vanishing and we would not notice until it was too late. Fact 33. Climate change may eventually affect the deep ocean habitats where frilled sharks live. Rising ocean temperatures, changing current patterns, decreasing oxygen levels in certain zones. These shifts are happening slowly, but they are happening. The frilled shark survived millions of years of natural climate variation. But those changes occurred over timescales that allowed for adaptation. The current rate of change is unprecedented. Whether the frilled shark can adapt quickly enough remains an open question. Fact 34. In Japanese folklore, there are references to creatures called dragonfish that match descriptions of the frilled shark. Long serpentine bodies, fearsome teeth, found in deep water. Some researchers believe that ancient fishermen occasionally caught these sharks, and the encounters inspired legends. Dragons may have been real. They were just living underwater instead of flying through the air. And they were surviving on squid instead of hoarding gold. Fact 35. The taxonomy of the frilled shark has been debated for over a century. When the first specimens were examined, some scientists argued it should be placed in its own order separate from all other sharks. Others believed it was simply a very primitive member of an existing order. Eventually it was classified in the order Hexanchiformes, which includes other ancient shark lineages like the cow sharks and the seven-gill sharks. But even within this group the frilled shark stands apart. More primitive. More ancient. More unchanged. Fact 36. Museums around the world have preserved frilled shark specimens in their collections. These specimens are studied by researchers looking for clues about shark evolution. The anatomy of the frilled shark provides a window into what early sharks may have looked like. By comparing the frilled shark to fossil sharks and to modern sharks, scientists can trace the evolutionary pathways that led to the diversity of shark species we see today. The frilled shark is a reference point, a living link to the past. Fact 37. There is something almost spiritual about the frilled shark's existence. It asks us to consider what it means to be successful. Modern society often equates success with progress, with innovation, with constant change and improvement. But the frilled shark represents a different kind of success. The success of finding your place and occupying it so completely that change becomes unnecessary. The success of being so well adapted that you can remain unchanged while the world transforms around you. The water around you has grown colder. You have descended deeper, following the path of the frilled shark into the midnight zone. Down here there is no day or night. No seasons. No sense of time passing. There is only the eternal present. The endless now. And somewhere in this darkness a frilled shark hovers. Coiled. Waiting. As its ancestors waited millions of years ago. You cannot see it, but you know it is there. You can sense its presence the way it senses the electrical fields of its prey. There is a connection between you. A shared moment in the vastness of the ocean. You are both visitors to this place. But the shark belongs here in a way you never could. This is its home. Its kingdom. Its rightful place in the order of things. Your body has become completely still now. Your breathing is barely perceptible. You have achieved the same state of patient waiting that the frilled shark embodies. Not actively seeking. Not struggling or striving. Just being. Just existing. Just allowing the moment to unfold in its own time. There is profound peace in this state. No expectations. No disappointments. No anxiety about what comes next. Only acceptance of what is. The frilled shark has lived this way for 80 million years. And in this moment you understand why. Because this is not just survival. This is wisdom. Fact 38. The jaw structure of the frilled shark is remarkably primitive. Unlike modern sharks that can protrude their jaws forward to increase bite force, the frilled shark's jaws are relatively fixed. This limits its ability to bite through hard materials. But it does not need to bite through anything hard. Its prey is soft. Squid. Small fish. Creatures with no protective shells or scales. The jaw design that worked 80 million years ago still works perfectly today. Fact 39. The sense of smell in the frilled shark is highly developed. Like all sharks, it can detect tiny concentrations of chemicals dissolved in water. Blood. Body fluids. Pheromones released by potential prey or mates. In the darkness where vision is limited, smell becomes a primary sense. The shark uses it to navigate. To locate food. To identify other members of its species. The ocean is filled with invisible messages written in molecules, and the frilled shark reads them all. Fact 40. There is evidence that frilled sharks may engage in vertical migration, though not in the way that many deep-sea creatures do. Some researchers have noted that juveniles are found in shallower waters than adults. This suggests that young sharks may start their lives at moderate depths and gradually move deeper as they mature. Or perhaps they simply get pushed into deeper territories by larger adults. The pattern exists, but the reason behind it remains unclear. Fact 41. The name frilled shark is somewhat misleading because the frills are not decorative or ornamental. They are functional gill structures. But the name has stuck because it is evocative. It captures something essential about the creature's appearance. Those flowing gill covers that ripple like fabric when the shark moves through water. Language is imperfect. We describe the natural world using metaphors and approximations. But somehow those imperfect names help us remember. Help us care. Fact 42. In aquarium settings, the few frilled sharks that have been temporarily kept alive displayed behavior that surprised researchers. They were not aggressive toward humans. They did not attempt to bite. They simply swam in slow circles, clearly distressed by their surroundings. This behavior suggests that the shark is not naturally aggressive. It is a specialist predator that hunts specific prey in specific ways. Everything outside that narrow focus is irrelevant to it. Even potential threats. Fact 43. The conservation status of the frilled shark is listed as least concern by international wildlife organizations. But this designation is somewhat misleading. It is based not on evidence that populations are healthy but on lack of evidence that they are declining. We simply do not have enough data. The designation reflects our ignorance more than it reflects the shark's actual status. We assume everything is fine because we have not proven otherwise. This is dangerous reasoning. Fact 44. Some marine biologists have argued that the frilled shark should be considered a priority for conservation research. Not because it is necessarily endangered, but because it is scientifically invaluable. Every living fossil species provides insight into evolutionary history. The loss of the frilled shark would be the loss of a direct connection to the Cretaceous oceans. It would be like burning a library that contains books found nowhere else. Once gone, the knowledge disappears forever. Fact 45. The frilled shark has occasionally appeared in popular culture. It has been featured in documentaries about living fossils. It appears in lists of the world's strangest creatures. But it has never achieved the fame of the great white shark or the recognition of the hammerhead. It remains obscure. Known primarily to scientists and deep-sea enthusiasts. And perhaps that is appropriate. Some creatures are not meant for the spotlight. They belong to the darkness. Fact 46. There are researchers who have devoted their entire careers to studying sharks who have never seen a living frilled shark. The rarity of encounters means that most knowledge comes from preserved specimens and second-hand accounts. This makes every new piece of information precious. Every photograph valuable. Every video clip a treasure. The frilled shark hoards its secrets as effectively as any dragon hoards gold. Fact 47. The future of the frilled shark depends on factors beyond anyone's control. The health of deep ocean ecosystems. The extent of deep-sea fishing. The progression of climate change. Human decisions made for economic or political reasons. The shark itself has no voice in these matters. It cannot advocate for its own survival. It can only continue doing what it has always done. Hunting in the darkness. Reproducing slowly. Existing in the margins of human awareness. Fact 48. If the frilled shark were to go extinct, most people would never know. There would be no dramatic final moment. No last individual photographed or mourned. The sharks would simply become more and more rare until one day none remained. And because they live in places humans rarely visit, their absence might not be noticed for years or decades. They could vanish silently the way they have always lived. Fact 49. But extinction is not inevitable. The frilled shark has survived worse than anything humans can do to the ocean. It survived the asteroid impact that killed the dinosaurs. It survived ice ages and warming periods. It survived changes in ocean chemistry and sea level. It is a survivor in the truest sense. And as long as the deep ocean exists, there is a chance the frilled shark will continue its ancient vigil in the darkness. Fact 50. The greatest gift the frilled shark gives us is perspective. It reminds us that we are not the pinnacle of anything. We are simply the latest arrival in a story that began billions of years ago. The frilled shark was here long before us. It may be here long after we are gone. Our time on this planet is brief. A flash. A moment. But the shark endures. And in that endurance there is something worth celebrating. Something worth protecting. Not for our sake but for its own. And now you return from the depths. From the prehistoric ocean and the modern abyss. From the realm of the frilled shark. You rise slowly through layers of dark water. The pressure decreases. The temperature warms slightly. And eventually you break through into your own time. Your own place. Your own quiet room where you have been lying all along. But you carry something back with you. A sense of deep time. An understanding that your concerns, your worries, your daily struggles are temporary. The frilled shark has been hunting in darkness for 80 million years. It knows nothing of human anxiety. It simply exists. And in this moment you can do the same. Let yourself exist without effort. Let your body rest completely. Let your mind release every thought that tries to surface. You have traveled far tonight. Through time and space. Through the history of life on Earth. And now you have arrived at the only destination that matters. This moment of rest. This surrender to sleep. The frilled shark continues its patient hunt somewhere in the depths. Coiled. Waiting. Unchanged. And you can be unchanged too. You can let go of the need to be different or better or more than you are. You can simply be. Here. Now. Resting in the darkness behind your closed eyes. There is no past to regret. No future to fear. Only this breath. This heartbeat. This gentle descent into the deepest sleep. Let the ancient rhythms of the ocean carry you. Let the patience of the frilled shark become your patience. Let 80 million years of survival teach you that sometimes the best strategy is not to fight but to wait. Not to change but to endure. Sleep now. Sleep deeply. And may you wake tomorrow with the quiet confidence of a creature that has found its place and never needed to leave it. May you carry the wisdom of the deep, the peace of the darkness, the timeless patience of the living fossil. Good night.